And if you have a weakness for sweetness, this next segment is going to, well, satisfy your sweet tooth in a couple of ways. We are going to have a giveaway because we are talking World Chocolate Day and we're celebrating literacy and checking in with the THTI. This morning we're joined by the Acting Marketing and Communications Manager, Chantal Melville, as well as lead lecturer at THTI, Chef Virgil Lovelace. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Hi, President. Good morning.
Now, I hope that we get you guys sounding sweeter. That was a little bit muffled there, but we will see how far we can go because we have a lot to cover. First and foremost, celebrating Literacy Day particularly. Now, the institution is culinary. So tell me a little bit of the hospitality side, I suppose, and how we're tying that into literacy, Chantal. Can we begin there?
Okay, then I'm wearing part of the manager of Private Services. So this is very payment. When I first started with that here, right?
I'm gonna have to ask you to pause for a little bit. I'm hearing you in a very distorted way, and I want to make sure we get this clearly. Is it possible for you to adjust the position of your mic perhaps closer to you? You sound so far away, and Tobago's right next door. Any adjustments there, Chantal?
Are you hearing me better now?
Slightly. But you sound a little bit muffled. Tell me again what your thoughts were. Let's see how we're sounding so far.
Okay, so I'm particularly competitive this morning as library manager for THTI. You hear me better now?
We're having some trouble with that audio still, so I'm afraid I'm going to shift gears a little bit and go across to Chef Lovelace, primarily because, I mean, who doesn't want to talk about chocolate? And Chef, I noticed that there is World Chocolate Day, but we also work with the Americas because they observe Chocolate Day on the 13th of September. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, yes.
So what are we looking forward to besides sweetness? We're hearing you perfectly. The sound is sweet like the chocolate.
Thank you.
So tell me what we're looking forward to on the 13th.
Okay, what we are showcasing, we're showcasing chocolate and how diverse it can be used in food. So we decided to create some menus using chocolate. So when persons come to the institute, they would have a whole heap of chocolate in their diet.
That might be for everybody, though. And interestingly, you're saying that it's in different ways. I primarily think of chocolate as a sweet treat. So can you tell me how it might be shown differently?
So, like what we did, we took some desserts basically, and we created desserts using chocolate. So we did that. We have a dessert called the chocolate tartlet. So we use a European style base, and we fill it with our local chocolate to show how our chocolate is and how it tastes like. We even looked at taking the traditional cheesecake, and we want to use a local alcohol base with our chocolate to create something differently. So that person come in can say, well, yes. We even want to do some molding of chocolate, so we're using different local West Indian flavors like banana and mango, and to create some items. So when person comes in, they can realize how diverse chocolate can be used throughout the Caribbean.
Sounds delicious. I'm glad that we're using our local chocolate because we know how fantastic it is and world class it is. What we've got though are some visuals for what will happen prior to that event. And correct me if I'm wrong, because they're two separate events. The observation, the celebration where everybody could partake in the samples and the different ways that chocolate will be presented. But there's also a masterclass that's happening on the 12th. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, yes.
So how does that take shape?
We invited a chef, and he would have traveled throughout the world using chocolate. And what he did is that he would showcase to us how, because chocolate is something very delicate, and warmth or high humidity can interfere with how chocolate is used. So you're going to show us how we can use chocolate in the Caribbean, especially. So you're going to show us little tricks and trades of how we can use it throughout the Caribbean, especially.
Now, granted that this is,
Tuesday.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but granted that this is a master class and there will be some sort of registration requirement, can you tell me as to any sort of prerequisites and time frame for registration? Or
there's no prerequisites for it. Well, usually what we're looking for is persons who are interested in chocolate itself. Thing about it is that the chocolate and the cocoa industry in the Caribbean, especially and Trinidad, it's a dying agriculture system. So we want to showcase chocolate and how diverse it can be used. And we encourage persons who are interested in chocolate or the cocoa production and how we can expand and showcase our unique chocolate brand or cocoa brand in the Caribbean.
of course, with a little bit of alcohol in there, which I appreciate. But I'm going to jump across to Chantal, because this is all happening thanks to the THTI and it's part of grand celebrations. So Chantal, we had started with the Literacy Day observations, if you will, and giving us a bit of the calendar of events was on the agenda. So Chantal, can you, or rather, let me see if I can hear you properly now. Yes?
You hearing me properly now?
Perfection, just like we chocolate.
Please.
So tell me a little bit as to the observations, the calendar of events, if you will.
Okay, so we try to recognize international days and world days as well that the UN celebrate at THTI, right? And International Literacy Day was one of them, and we only started celebrating last year. So this is our second annual International Literacy Day event.
Mm-hmm. How will that celebration be done then?
Okay, so we invited the primary schools, well, not all of them, but some of them in Tobago, to attend this event. And although we know that, traditional literacy is important, which is reading and writing, we also identify the fact that it is essential for young persons to develop these skills that will be beneficial for their personal and professional development in the future. So we decided to expand and introduce different types of literacy, such as media, nutritional and health literacy, information literacy, and I think one of the most important is financial literacy.
Oh, beautiful. So you're getting them ready for a number of spheres of work and the world altogether with the hospitality part of things, I suppose. Tell me what that age group or target group is like, because you're seeing schools that you've invited, but is this primary only, secondary, tertiary? What are we looking at?
This year is just strictly primary school.
Mm-hmm. Now,
because we are targeting the high schoolers for International Chocolate Day.
I was going to say the distinction with this year, the emphasis rather, with this year means that you have future plans, and I like that future planning. You're talking though about tours or sit-down sessions. What will make it interesting and dynamic for the students though?
Okay, so we do have sit-down sessions, and we also try to incorporate games as well, literacy games, where they can, because everybody likes to win a prize, so they can win prizes as well.
And speaking of winning a prize, this morning we're trying to engage our listeners here on the Now Morning Show so that they could win a prize too. So I want to remind everybody of our numbers, 622-4010, because in a few moments we're going to ask you a quick question based on the conversations we've been having this morning to make sure that you can partake of these observances and celebrations as well in the sister aisle. Now, Chantal, in terms of the literacy that you're talking about, you mentioned financial literacy and things of the business nature as well. Will we be able to participate perhaps outside of the school groups? Is it something that in the next year or the coming years we'll see more island-wide?
I am hoping so. I'm really hoping.
I like the
And
future
since we are
planning.
on Literacy Day as well, we just want to say thanks to our sponsors for Literacy Day, Unit Trust Corporation, the Mount Pleasant Credit Union, and CAD Supermarkets.
Now, you did tell us that the observation of literacy is only in its second year for the Institute, but the World Chocolate Day observance has been happening for quite some time now, yes?
Yes, since I started working at THTI, which is in 2016.
So we're looking at doing some math, carry the 8 years, right?
Yes, correct.
8 years of observances. Now, that
Yes.
means that every year we will see some sort of addition or difference to the way that it's observed. I know this year we're having the Master Chef session. Any other ways that we're going to see this incorporated into different menus or other items to celebrate chocolate as well?
Well, for this year, sorry.
Yes, for this year.
Oh, okay. So for this year, we will have different booths as well, and demonstration on the day as well from Chef David Oliver, and showing how to manipulate chocolate in humidity. And the different booths, we will have set up persons like from Coco Bell. We have Mr. Petite will be there as well, setting up the booths and giving out samples. And there are persons who are actually calling us now and showing interest to have a booth set up to display their chocolate products for sampling.
Now, Chef Virgil did tell us just as much in terms of, well, the international chef coming in to show us through workshops what we can do with our very own chocolate. He did say that there is no prerequisites, but as far as registration for both of these events go, do we have cutoff times or websites that you can give us to go to?
Okay, so Literacy Day, free of charge. Chocolate Day as well. The only thing you have to pay for is the master class. And it's, again, no prerequisite. It's just basically persons who are already in the industry. They are the ones who are reaching out to us currently to, spruce up on their chocolate making skills.
So we've got a caller on the line who's going to try to win themselves a spot, if you will. Good morning, Red Hill.
Please hang up and try your call again.
All right, never mind, Red Hill. But we're going to encourage another caller to dial our number, 6224010, because, or at least somebody later on this morning, because we're going to make sure that you answer a simple question, and we're going to make sure that you can be a part of the celebrations with the THTI. Let me say thank you very much, Chantal, for joining us this morning, giving us the insight on all the happenings, all the observations and celebrations that sound delicious. Thank you for joining us so much. And of course, to the chef also, Chef Virgil, who would have given us some insights into how we're using our very own chocolate with a little bit of alcohol here and there to make the celebrations even sweeter. Now, you want to stay tuned to the Now Morning Show. Although Red Hill didn't stay on the line, we're going to find a way to give those tickets away with a little bit of a question later on. But for now, we take a break and come back with more.